It's another delicious day here in the Ginger's kitchen, and today we're making some pasta fagioli, okay? It's gonna be delicious. There's a pasta fagioli. I've heard it said quite a few different ways. I'm not Italian, I don't know how to say it, sorry. So let's go over some ingredients here. I've got my home canned turkey stock. You can use chicken, you can use, you could even use beef if you wanted, or even vegetable. It's up to you on how you wanna do it. If you're making it vegetarian, just leave out the sausage and then use a vegetable broth, but then it's not. So we've got our turkey stock. I'm making a double batch, so I need 12 cups of my stock. I need 2 of my pint jars of my diced stewed tomatoes and 2 of my tomato sauce, same size. I have 4 celery stalks, which I'll chop up. 6 whole carrots, same thing, gonna chop it up. 2 whole onions, these are kind of, if you had a really big one, you could do just 1. 6 cloves of garlic. I have 2 cups of ditalini pasta, and we're gonna cook that. We're not gonna put it directly in the soup because if you have leftovers, it grows and gets mushy and gross. So you put it on the side, cook it on the side, and then you just put some on the top when you serve it. And then when you store it, if you have leftovers, it's not gonna get gross. So then I have 2 teaspoons thyme, 2 teaspoons basil, and 2 teaspoons oregano. I have about 2 teaspoons salt, but we're gonna adjust that based on taste towards the end. And then I have 2 pounds of mild Italian sausage. I'll put a link down below for my recipe. And in the sink that you can't see right now is my beans that I have rinsed and they are draining. This is 30 ounces of kidney beans and 30 ounces of Great Northwestern beans. And so we're gonna do kind of a hybrid cook on this. I've got water started to boil for the pasta, and we're gonna cook our sausage separately. We're gonna ground it up in the pan, get it fully cooked before we put it in our crock pot. Now you could do this whole recipe in a skillet, and how you would do that is you cook your onions, carrots, and celery first, cook your sausage, throw in the garlic, cook that, and then you would add the rest of your ingredients except the pasta. You're still gonna cook that separately and let it simmer. I'll put directions on how to do both, but I'm gonna be gone for a couple of hours and I need dinner to be ready when I get home. So this way I'm doing the hybrid. It can cook on high for about 4 hours in the crock pot without pre-cooking my veggies. I'm just gonna pre-cook my pasta and my sausage, so let's do that. So I don't know if you can see it. I've got it in here and I'm just gonna break it up and let it start cooking down. While that cooks down, I can prep my veggies. So I'm gonna set all of these aside. You see I got some bread rising over there? That's gonna be my easy no need baguette to go with this. It's not part of this video, but I did make it, so maybe I'll put a link for that below too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and in my crock, I'm gonna add all of my broth and my seasonings, and then I'm gonna get it going to start heating on high heat. So let's do that while this cooks, then we'll do the veggies. And in goes, I'm gonna drop that one. Basil, oregano, thyme, salt. Okay, let's go ahead and do our tomato sauce and our diced tomatoes. This is gonna be 1 full crock pot. Beans. It's barely gonna fit in there. My water for the pasta is boiling. I'm gonna add some salt. Then I'm gonna stir in my noodles and cook them al dente. All right, so we need to peel and chop some things here. I like to cut mine lengthwise a little bit so they're about that thick, okay? While I'm doing this, I wanna make sure that I'm stirring up my sausage. This is just one of those days where I'm in a hurry to get a family meal done, and I want it to be delicious and nutritious, but it needs to be ready when I get home because it's gonna be later than usual. So now that I've got my sticks, I'm just gonna take the whole stack and chop them like this. All right, now we can put our celery into our crock pot. You're gonna small chop your onions. All right, the sausage looks good. It's ready to go into our pot. So this is about the chop we're looking for. Okay, my noodles are beautifully al dente, so I'm gonna get them in the strainer. My noodles are in the strainer. I'm gonna run some cold water over them to stop the cooking process and cool them off. While those are rinsing, I can put onions in there and hope they fit. All right, so I've made a decision. I'm gonna make it easier on myself. I have about an hour before I have to leave. So I'm gonna take everything and put it into my large stock pot, get it cooking, and then I can take about half of it and put it in the crock pot and then freeze the rest to cook another day. Now, if you're wondering why I don't just leave it in the pot, it's because I have to leave it. I'm not going to leave my gas stove on. And cooking it separately now, not all of my ingredients are in there, so the balance might be off. So I'm going to make the one big pot and then just make it easier on myself and stress-free. All right, I'll add my garlic here as soon as I'm done. I'm gonna peel my carrots and get them chopped up and in there, and then I can focus on packing up and getting ready to go. I lied. Before I go, there is one ingredient that I haven't mentioned yet. This is a wedge of Parmesan cheese, and if you can see where it's thicker right here, this part where it's darker, that's the rind. Sometimes you can see it better depending on the brand that you got, but we're gonna cut it off and put it in our pot while it cooks. You would not believe the flavor that this adds by doing that. It'll never break down completely. It might get gooey and long, but it holds together, but adds so much flavor to your broth. So I'm gonna cut that off, and then I'm gonna put it right in the pot. Now I wanna use a smaller knife so I don't cut myself. Just like, I'm just gonna take this wedge, put it right in the pot. I'm gonna let it cook down. It's gonna make it so amazing and delicious. Okay, now I'm gonna finish the carrots. So the last thing I need to do right now is take my garlic and press it right into the pot, all 6 cloves, and then we're gonna let it cook for that hour before I transfer half of it into the crock pot and freezer store the rest of it. It should last in the freezer about 6 months. Our pasta fagioli is ready to go. Look at that, it looks delicious. It smells amazing in here. One of the things you can do to give it a little extra kick, a little flavor, and I forgot to film myself doing it, is add a little bit of either white vinegar or apple cider vinegar at the very end. Put it in there right before you serve it and stir it up. So we have our noodles. We're just gonna put that right on top, and those will heat up very quickly. And that's it. Our pasta fagioli is ready to eat. We can sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top of that, serve it with some fresh baked bread. It's gonna be delicious. Is there something you'd like to learn how to make? Tell me what it is down below in the comments. As always, have a delicious day.
That's one bowl.